Hi guys, it's Steve from Vintage Classics. This week I'm here with a video on the 1970 Top Super baseball cards. This is my first time trying to make this a video on my laptop as opposed to my phone, so hopefully it comes out okay. I know it's a little bit of an adjustment. I'm also shooting it upstairs instead of doing it in my room, so this is different for you. I'm going to start off by, like I said, showing you some 1970 top super cards. But before I do, I'd like to put a personal thank you to Tom Mangini for putting a shout out for me to for people to subscribe to my channel. I'm like 202 now, which has gone way up since he's done that. I really appreciate it. I love making these videos and showing the things I have and talking about them and getting great conversation in the comments. In fact, a couple trades with people that I've met through this site. So it's really enjoyable, and like I said, I really enjoy doing it. And I want to say thank you again to Don Mangini. He's one of the many out there that are really good. Also, if you guys haven't watched the series of videos about Marshall Fogel that are on YouTube, by all means, you should look into it. He's like the godfather of collecting, very knowledgeable. He's an attorney from Colorado, retired, older gentleman, but very sharp and very knowledgeable about the collecting memorabilia, the hobby itself, the direction it's heading, and basically how to build a collection um, that within your means and that you'll be happy with. All right, without further ado, let's start off with the 1970 Top Super. First one will be Lou Brock. So we're gonna put this now. Here's Lou. Next will be the Willie Mays, Say Hey Kid. As you guys all know, he just passed away a week and a half ago. My opinion, the greatest player in the history of baseball. These are a little bit larger than the normal cards, the super cards. The pose is different than the regular issue picture, but the back is the same. If you guys know what this 1970 tops, the yellow with the blue, it's the same in the back of these. All right, next up is Hall of Famer Louis Aparicio from Chicago White Sox. He is now with the passing of Willie Mays, he's the oldest living Hall of Famer at the age of 90. All right, you got another Hall of Famer from St. Louis Cardinals. You got the great pitcher Bob Gibson. Bob was a fierce competitor. In fact, you want to show him up at the plate because I guarantee you the next time, like the way these guys nowadays, they showboat after they hit a home run or whatever, you'd probably have a ball in your ear, or you'd at least be on your ass, or just excuse me, butt on the ground with Gibson on the mound. All right, next is Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew of the Minnesota Twins. Powerful guy, not the tallest. He was 5'11", 210 pounds. Boy, he could hit, and he had power to all fields. All right, next up you have the toy cannon, Jimmy Wynn from the Houston Astros. This is a 42 card set. I should have started off by saying that. And I think I have 28 of them right now, so it's a set that I'm working on building. Next is a Hall of Famer Billy Williams from the Chicago Cubs. Great ball player. Was overshadowed by the other Hall of Famers on that Cub team, Ernie Banks, of course, Bergie Jenkins, Ron Santo. But Billy was a great player, too. Next, you have the great Beta Pinson. Not a Hall of Famer, but a solid ball player. Good hitter. At the time of this card, he was hitting 294 in his career. He had 2,000 hits. So good ball player. I had a Beta Pinson bat when I was a kid. Um, most of the stuff I had, my mom didn't get rid of, but somehow that bat didn't make it. I was actually have two of them, but I have most of the stuff that I from when I was a kid though, but I don't have that. Next up is Jim Fregosi from the California Angels. Jim also became a very good manager later on. So I love the way these cards look. They're not the easiest to find. I mean, they're not rare, but they're not even. It's not even really expensive. So there are some short printed ones that will cost you more money, but all in all, it's a very affordable set if you're looking to build a set that has great Hall of Famers in it and is not a large set and is unique. So, all right, now the local legend. Took over left field after the great Ted Williams retired. That's Mr. Yaz, Carl Yastrzemski. Carlin himself was a great player. Boy, he could play that wall, the Green Monster. The caroms off there. Carl always knew where the ball was going to come off at and stuff like that. So I remember watching him as a kid going to the ballpark with my dad, and just great ball player. Played a long time, I think 23 seasons with the Red Sox. Put up some outstanding numbers. But like I said, it wasn't an easy task following Ted Williams, and especially in Boston. Ted Williams is idolized, but so was Yastrzemski now. We had a great little run there in left field. We went from Ted Williams, then we had Carl Yastrzemski for a long time. After Yaz, we had Jimmy Rice playing out there in left. He played a great left field. We had a nice little run through of three Hall of Famers that manned that left field position. All right, next up is from the Giants. You get the great Willie McCovey, Hall of Famer. Stretch is his nickname. Another one that we talk about getting overlooked. In my opinion, you get overlooked. I mean, you're playing with Willie Mays, Orlando Cepeda, stuff like that. Someone's going to get overlooked, and I kind of feel like McCovey was, but just a great, powerful man with home run hitter, could do it all. Played solid first base. Next up is from Cincinnati Reds, the great Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench, in my opinion, is the all-time greatest catcher. I know that Carlton Fisk played many years here in Boston, but I'd have to give the edge to Johnny Bench. There are a lot of you out there that will probably argue that and say maybe Yogi Berra or Mickey Cochran, so many, Bill Dickey, Gabby Hartnett. There's been so many great catchers, but in my opinion, Johnny Bench stands out as the greatest to me, anyways. This guy next up was when I was a kid, I really liked him a lot. He's one of my favorites, Rico Petrocelli. Rico was the first shortstop to hit 40 homers in a season. He did it in '69 with the Red Sox. Later, he moved over to third base. He's still very active in the area, makes appearances at crowd shows. You can see him on TV occasionally with the Red Sox on NESN or whatever. Rico's was a solid ball player. All right, now the next one. This is going to stir some debate, but in my opinion, he is the all-time home run leader in my the way I look at it, and that's the great Hank Aaron, Hammerin' Hank. I know there's Barry Bonds fans out there. They're going to take offense to that, but I can't. For the life of me, I try. I can't acknowledge those people from the steroid era who achieved the records they did. I know that people are going to say you still got to have hand-eye coordination to hit a baseball, but I don't know. I just the cloud hanging over them, and there's so many. I mean, even I loved Roger Clemens when I was a kid, but Clemens is another one. He never needed to even touch steroids, and he would have been in the Hall of Fame. But they did. So back to this Hammerin' Hank, another player that could do everything. Great ball player, Hall of Famer. Later on, an executive with the Atlanta Braves. So, I like Hank a lot. He's one of my favorite players too. Next, you got the knuckleballer, Phil Niekro. We had a knuckleballer here in Boston, Tim Wakefield, who learned the craft of throwing the knuckleball from Phil Niekro. Him and his brother Joe. Good pitchers. Like I said, not overpowering, but they could very deceptive with that pitch. The knuckleball pitch is a very hard pitch to hit. So, all right, next is Sam McDowell from the Cleveland Indians, hard thrower. In fact, he used to put up numbers like these are strikeout numbers: 325, 225, 236, 283, 279. Had he been pitching on a better team, say with the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Red Sox, whatever, his numbers would have been a lot better, and he would have got more publicity. But he was a solid pitcher, Sam McDowell. All right, the next guy is a big guy, Frank Howard, from the Washington Senators. If you look at any of the cards, whether the Super ones or the regular 1970 version, most of the Senators' pictures were taken in Fenway Park. You can see the green monster behind Frank right there, right there. So, but he was a big guy, powerful guy, kind of like a gentle giant type. Actually, he was 6'7", 250 pounds. Originally came up with the Dodgers, I said, but this with the Washington Senators. I remember watching the Washington Senators when I was a kid. Never really had a great team, but had some good ball players. Ted Williams managed them way back in '69, '70, I think it was. So yeah, that was Frank Howard. Next from the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Pops, Willie Stargell. Willie was the leader of the 1979 Pirates, the We Are family that won the World Series, and just a great outfielder, first baseman. He played with a great Roberto Clemente, part of the lumber gang there, lumberjacks, lumber gang as they used to call themselves, Pirates. All right, next up from the Oakland Athletics, third baseman Sal Bando. Sal's was a good ball player too, solid third baseman. Had his best years in Oakland. Later played for the Milwaukee Brewers also. But, when I was a kid, I've always been a diehard Red Sox fan, but I also like the Oakland Athletics and the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates were my National League team, but I enjoyed watching the Athletics too, and Sal Bando was probably my favorite on that team. All right, next up from the California Angels, you got Andy Messersmith. Notice I said California Angels, not Los Angeles Angels. And I had to make sure I said it the right way. Andy was a good pitcher too. He had just come off a 16-11 season in 1969, so for the Angels. Yeah, right. Next, we get Rusty Staub from the Montreal Expos. I guess it's better like that. There you go. Rusty was a solid player. It's overlooked a lot. People talk about players from the '70s, but Rusty was a solid player. At the time this card came out, he was a 277 hitter. He had basically almost 1,000 hits at that time. But like I said, he came up originally with Houston Colt 45s. Later became an Astro, and then a Montreal Expo. Played for the Tigers also. A couple other teams after that, but solid player, good outfielder. All right, next from the Mets, the '69 Mets, he was a member of, Tommy Agee. Tommy, let's see what he had. In '69, the year they won, he had 26 homers, 76 RBIs, and he had 271. Just a solid, good player all around. The Miracle Mets. All right, from the Los Angeles Dodgers, you got Willie Davis. Another good player. All right, and then another one from the Washington Senators. I told you with the Green Monster picture behind him, Dick Bossman. All right. Next up from the St. Louis Cardinals, you get Tim McCarver. A lot of you that didn't have it will remember him, that are younger viewers out there will remember him as an announcer, but he was a solid catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Phillies. Also played for the Red Sox very, very briefly in '75, I think it was, 74, '75. Tim McCarver. He became a very good baseball announcer, as you guys all know, doing games of the weeks and the playoffs, World Series. He was always on there. So, all right. Next up is the last pitcher to win 30 games in a season. That's the great Denny McLain. If you've never met Denny McLain, I had the opportunity to meet him one time, and you get the chance to, by all means, it's worth it. Get him to sign a baseball. He's not overly expensive. He'll put all types of inscriptions on that ball. He'll put, besides his signature, he'll put Cy Young, 31 win season. Actually, what was it? He was 31-6 in 1968. But he'll put all that stuff on you, and he'll talk. He'll tell you all types of stories if you spend a little bit of time there with him. So definitely worth looking into Denny McLain if you can get his autograph. All right, the last one I have for you is Sweet Lou Piniella. He's actually depicted here as a Kansas City Royal. wasn't one of my favorite people in the 78 one-game playoff we played with the Yankees when he somehow miraculously caught that ball that he lost in the sun in right field. Uh, but the Lou Piniella, good manager too. Still, he's up there now. He's in his 80s, I think. He's born in 43, so let's see, 81 years old. Um, Occasionally, you'll see him at stuff like I saw him in a card show one time, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, and I don't know if he makes an appearance in the National or not, but he was a good ball player. That's all the ones I have for you today in the 1970 Top Super set. Like I said, there's a 42 card set. I need about 14 more of them. Unfortunately, some of them are the big ones like Tom Seaver and stuff, Roberto Clemente. So hopefully I'll be working on getting some of them relatively soon. Um, I know a lot of you are getting ready to go to the National in about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. So I've never been to a national convention. It's on my list to go to, and I probably will eventually go when it comes back to the East Coast. I got a good friend Dan that he's been going the last, I don't know, maybe the last two or three of them, and he's driving out to Chicago with a couple other guys. But I'm going to pass on that trip, but I eventually will go to the national. It's for no other reason, so I can say I've been to at least been to one. As I've gotten older, I'm not a big crowd person, uh, and I know that the crowds are unbelievable at the national. But the chances to see so many different dealers and so many different products out there, so many vintage cards, and to complete some things that you don't normally see at your local card shop or even on eBay. I mean, you can actually, like, I'm looking for a 1933 Gaudi Lou Gehrig, his rookie card. That is that would be the holy grail of my collection. I've wanted one for since I was a kid, um, but I haven't got it yet. That's a card that when I do buy it, I don't want to buy it online. I want to actually physically see it and look at it and stuff, and see what the best offer I can get on it. And I would think a place like that would be the National to acquire a card like of that stature or nature. But or a large East Coast show they have, or one of the bigger ones where you have multiple different um, copies of that card. But that would make my day if I had that Lou Gehrig. So, but I hope everybody's doing well, having a good summer. You guys are probably having the same hot, humid weather that we're having up here in Massachusetts, which is when it gets hot up here and humid, it's something that we don't usually deal with a lot or for a long period of time. We may get hot, humid weather, but it doesn't last like it does in the south or the southwest, whatever. But hopefully you guys are staying cool. And I just want to thank you again for, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you don't know how much I really appreciate the support I've been getting on my videos. When I started doing this in January of 2023, um, I never thought that it would be like it is now. In fact, this morning I watched my very first video, and I looked like I was extremely nervous. Not that I'm not nervous now, but I just like I said, I shoot from the hip. I love the hobby. I love these cards. I'm not in it for the money. I enjoy trading with people, ones that I have extras of or whatever for things I don't have. But everybody's different. Like um, and it mentions if you watch the Marshall Fogel videos, he goes into a lot of different things, talking about PSA versus Fanatics and different stuff like that. Very, very informative videos if you get a chance to watch them on YouTube. All right. Well, I want to keep on. I want to say my saying: keep on collecting. Um, collect what you can afford. And again, thank you for watching. And hopefully, I'll have another video out soon. All right. Take care. God bless everybody. Have a good day. Bye.